This is PopX Cast, where science fiction meets pop culture. PopX is not affiliated with, nor endorsed by Lucasfilm, Walt Disney Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, DC Comics, or any other mentioned franchise or brand. The opinions expressed are of each individual, and solely do not reflect PopX Cast. Sit back, relax, put on your Ninja Turtle onesie, and warm up your chimichangas. This is PopX Cast. You are listening to PopX Cast, where science fiction meets pop culture. PopX Cast. And we are here. What's up, Dan the man?
Oh, man, nothing much, dude. I am ready for this.
I think you're a little bit excited, right?
Just a bit. This is going to give me a reason to come down and see you, man.
Dude, you're like gripping the... What?
All hands on deck.
Oh, stay on target. Stay on target. Stay on target. Oh man, so how's your week been, man? Since our mighty Deadpool podcast, what have you been up to this past week?
A lot. It's been great, man. I went to Chicago over the weekend, which was great. Okay. Never been on a plane before. Got to go on a plane. Thought it was awesome. Yeah. Whoa. I'm 32 years old and I've lived under a rock.
Look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants, flying to Chicago, just living the life. YOLO.
I was first class on the old Sky Bus.
Yes, the old shuttle, the old Airbus, Airbus 101. Yes. Well, that's cool, man. I heard you had a really great time up there, and you got to do some fun things. And I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad you got to have that time and that experience, and just getting something new. It's always good to do something new and try something different,
Yeah. It was really an awesome experience. Taking off was great. We came in, the winds were amazingly strong, and the guy did not want to land.
Is that what you're saying?
It was actually kind of fun, but
it does kind of feel like you're on a roller coaster.
Well, they do little dips and the planes.
Little dips. Yeah, I get you.
It's crazy.
Well, we have been doing amazing. We would just want to thank all of our listeners because our podcast is doing so well and our ratings are doing so good over on iTunes. And I just want to take this moment and thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed, I want to invite you right now to just go ahead and go over to iTunes and subscribe after the show. Stay here and listen to the show. Then subscribe.
And a good review goes a long way.
And yes, if you give us a 5-star review, I'm thinking about doing a giveaway next week.
Yes, maybe
a little giveaway.
Thinking about throwing something into that giveaway as well.
Some bling bling, if you know what I mean. Yes.
If anybody likes Steam games, maybe.
If anyone likes actual printed artwork by yours truly,
maybe. Oh, maybe. It is nice artwork too. That Hulk, I've had my eye on that Hulk.
Oh, you stop it. That Lou Ferrigno.
It's just so good.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. But we have such an amazing lineup tonight. We're going to be talking here in just a couple minutes to an individual who has just been a monumental friend of mine, just getting connected. Since I moved to Orlando, it's been kind of challenging to be able to find those people that can help you and inform you. And I don't want to say show you the ropes, but definitely darn near close demonstrating how to do it. And so Matt Roseboom has been one of those individuals for me that has just, he's seen what I'm able to do and has incorporated that into his thing. And I'm very humbled.
You mean that fine, awesome artwork that you do, Joe?
Well, maybe some of that. I don't know. we're not here about that artwork, though. We're here about Mr. Matt Roseboom.
That's it.
So, but Matt, you're welcome to call in right now if you want to. He's going to call in, and we're going to get this show underway, because I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that my friend over here, Mr. Daniel Miller, is just chomping at the bit, dying to get. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's happening?
Robert, welcome to the show. Welcome to PopX, dude.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh, dude, I tell you, this is awesome. We've got 17 live viewers right now. The chat room's going crazy. This is awesome.
You're just lucky we're not in the same room.
Oh,
Okay.
What do you say? You crazy man.
I'm just ready to attack this man with questions.
Creep alert, run. How'd you
Questions
As soon as Star Wars, as soon as Star Wars comes into the equation, my heart just starts pumping and ready to go. All right, so
Well, your username is at StayOnTarget42, so I'm just throwing that out there. It's a trap. It's a trap.
We can't stand this all those stars.
Anyway, but so Daniel, do you want to lead this, or do you? I mean,
yeah,
you want to start? I mean, I know you're just dying for this. You just want to get it out there. You want to do it. So I'm going to let you have the limelight, man. Just go for it.
I'm ready. So, Matt, Star Wars Land, just lay it on me. Give me your overview.
Give him a snippet. Give him a snippet of something.
This magical place is going to be like.
Well, I got some bad news at first. You're going to have to wait a little while before it.
Okay.
We're going to have to wait at least a couple years, I'd say, maybe longer.
All right.
But looks like it's gearing up to be pretty awesome. I mean, do you want to fly the Millennium Falcon yourself? Do you want to fire the lasers? Is that something you would like to do?
Do I? What are you talking about?
You can talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to go have a moment.
I'm not sure how exactly.
Sasquatch like hiding in the woods.
I'm not sure how exactly they're going to achieve it, but supposedly every guest is going to be able to fly the Millennium Falcon themselves exactly where they want to fly it.
Wow.
And fire the lasers down whatever there is to shoot at. I don't know, some TIE fighters or something. But that's one of the attractions. And from what it looked in some concept art we saw, it looked like maybe it's two people in a cockpit and one person flies it and the other person shoots. I'm not sure how it's going to work exactly. But And then the other attraction is you're going to get to fight some stormtroopers, some First Order stormtroopers. And
that's crazy pants.
That's those are the two main big attractions for the new land. But besides that, you're going to be able to go, and it's set on a Star Wars world that we haven't seen. So it's not we're going to be on Coruscant or something like that. It's a new world, a new planet nobody's visited, but the things that you see on the planet, of course, are going to be recognizable to you. And you can, if you're watching, you can see some of the artwork that they're throwing up right there.
That's so pretty.
So characters walking around, you can go into a cantina type bar. Entertainment will be playing in there. You can try some of the local foods.
Yeah, and if anybody's listening, I mean, we're just showing pictures of some of this amazing concept art of what this place is going to look like for those who are listening on iTunes or Google Play, and it looks amazing. Sorry, Matt, continue.
No, yeah, it's going to be over 14 acres of Star Wars.
Gosh. Oh, yeah, 14 acres of Star Wars.
That is. I'm gonna cry. I may need a tissue. I need to leave the room. So
talk amongst yourselves.
So even though we have to wait a couple years for that, they've added some stuff already that Star Wars that people can enjoy at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Lay it on.
And there's I don't know how much you've heard already, but there's a launch bay, which is basically an artifact area where you can go in and look at props and models from the past movies, including up to the latest movie.
And this is open now, right?
It's open now.
It's the Star Wars Awakens.
Yeah,
right?
It's called the launch bay. And then you walk through. First, you can go in and watch a movie basically about the Disney filmmakers' love of Star Wars and how they grew up with it. And then a few clips of the next movie that's coming out, Rogue One.
Oh,
And I've heard rumors that in the next couple weeks, we may be getting some Rogue One props and models into the launch bay. But another cool thing you can do in the launch bay is you can go meet Chewbacca, and he'll growl at you. And you can also go in and meet Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, he's intimidating.
From what I've seen from the pictures, I mean, just the effects. I don't want to say the makeup, but the costume is it's Disney.
Yeah, I mean,
it's only
they own
Disney.
Star Wars. It's not like they're trying to recreate something. It's theirs. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I've got full faith. So let me just ask you: are we going to have some restaurants, a cantina, where we're going to have maybe some moof milk, some blue milk, some Nerf steaks? What do we got going on here? I want to know what I'm going to eat. Am I going to feel like I'm
you Nerf
eating
herder.
Star Wars food?
Yeah, they haven't given details on exactly what
moof milker.
Nerf herder.
But I'm sure they'll have everything you just named. They already have. They're selling right now a blue milk milkshake at one of the places, so you can get that right now.
Joe, I'm flying over.
But
come on, man.
And then right now there's nightly Star Wars fireworks, which are awesome. But they just announced that I think it's in April, they're going to, and you can see there on the artwork if you're watching. That's they're going to add projections to the fireworks, and they're going to project on like 3 or 4 different buildings across the way, and then and at the finale is going to have fireballs shooting over on your left and in the middle, fireworks in the back, and then a recreation of a lightsaber shooting up into the sky. So.
And that looks like Luke's hand, and then that's probably going to be like a massive beam going straight up to represent that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you'll be able to see that beam sticking up from all around town. So
and that's the Mean Chinese Theater remake.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Now, if I'm coming down here to enjoy all of this awesome Star Wars stuff, what if I want to sleep in an actual maybe Star Wars themed hotel to where I'm living the experience? I mean, from what I'm reading in this article, it's called the Star Wars Experience. So are we going to experience all facets of the Star Wars universe?
Not yet. That may be coming. They haven't announced anything about any kind of resort or themed up rooms, but some of the Disney resorts do have special rooms that are themed to different things. Not Star Wars yet, but I don't see why that wouldn't be coming at some point.
Okay. All right.
Wow. And so there's going to be like a cantina where you can go and you and the family can enjoy a dinner, and then there's going to be kind of like an underground district, I believe, like for adults. Is that right? Like an underground?
I don't know if it was really for adults, but I think they said something about like a nightclub type area.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. So now they began with phase 1, which is the Star Wars Awakens. What is the expected launch date for this Star Wars experience to be complete at Hollywood?
Like I say, right now they got Jedi training you can watch, which features Darth and Kylo in it. And
is this the Jedi Academy?
Yeah. They've redone the way it works. If you've seen it in past years, they've redone it a little bit.
Now, do you know if this is going to change at all in the future?
Yeah, well, it just changed. They brought from Rebels the Seventh Sisters in it now. And then it was Darth Vader, and then Darth Maul would come out the end, and they just switched out Darth Maul with Kylo Ren.
Oh my gosh!
So and then there's Star Tours, the ride, of course, and they've added one scene at the beginning of each ride from the new movie. And
really?
Yeah.
I heard you get to go to Jakku as well.
Yep.
Awesome.
And BB-8's in it, and some other characters. It's cool.
Star Tours is such a great ride.
Between the fireworks, the launch bay, and the Jedi training, that's about it. And I think there's another movie you can see that kind of wraps up the whole series for people who don't know a lot about Star Wars. And then the enhanced fireworks are coming in April. And then also a new thing they're adding is they're going to have some stormtroopers marching through the park. So from the launch bay over to the main stage will be Captain Phasma leading the Force Order in a march. Are you
serious? Oh my God.
That'll be cool.
I've just got one last question. what about? Do you know anything about guest appearances?
They haven't
a good
said
one.
anything. Yeah, because they used to have Star Wars weekends, which would always have a guest, celebrity guest.
Yeah.
But nothing like that's been announced for here or for Disneyland. Disneyland's been doing pretty much some of the same stuff we have here in Orlando, but no special guests have been announced of any kind yet. So, of
I
course,
know that
Disney runs the Star Wars convention. What is it? Every couple of years, or I think it's in England this year. So that's where you're going to go to see the celebrities.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I was actually very fortunate to meet Ray Park at one of the 2010, 2009 Star Wars weekends. It was so awesome.
I heard he's a gentleman.
Of course, I had to be at the line at like 3:30 a.m. to even get the pass. But you know what? It was an experience. I did it. I got to live it, and I wouldn't trade that day for nothing in the world. Now, on the line of the Star Wars experience at Hollywood Studios, there's also going to be like a marketplace, right, where you can walk through and see merchandise and interact with characters. Is that?
Yeah, well, like the whole land once it opens is going to have pretty much a little city. It's the Star Wars planet, so you can bet there's going to be shopping. Of course, they're going to have shopping.
Actually, yeah.
But
you did just bring.
And they'll have characters all throughout in the cantina and the restaurant and the shopping, up and down the streets. Some of the artwork showed, the Millennium Falcon actual life-size version of it sitting there where you can walk up to, and some X-Wing sitting there. And,
look, Mom, I'm standing in front of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. And so what about maybe some type of interaction with these people that are coming in and experiencing this park? Have you heard of any type of situations where they'll put people in a situation like on the spot while in the park to make you feel like you're in the Star Wars park? Like maybe you get held up by some street rat, and a Jedi comes and rescues you and your family. Have you heard anything like that?
And they haven't announced anything like that, but they have something at Hollywood Studios already called Streetmosphere. And because Hollywood Studios right now on the main street is themed after the early days of Hollywood. So they have these people walking by, and it's set as in comedy right now, but they'll have a guy who is a comedian, and another woman who's a starlet, and they're just made up names and things. But there are characters that will interact with the guests as they go by. I don't see why they wouldn't have something like that in Star Wars too.
Yeah, my favorite is the plumber guys and the cop.
Yeah.
That was
Works guys. Yeah, they're hilarious.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So a lot of changes going on at Hollywood Studios. Obviously, we've seen the end of Star Wars Weekends. We've seen the end of Osborne Spectacle of Dancing Lights. A lot of changes are coming, and I think, is it April that Lights Motor Action is officially going? Yeah.
They're closing down the Streets of America, Lights Motors Action, but that's all in the back part of the park, and that's where they're expected to build the Star Wars land, and there's a Toy Story land coming too. So there's two lands coming. So and they haven't given dates on which one's going to open first. I would think they'd want to get the Star Wars open first. But
do you think we'll ever get a Cars land?
It's been rumored and going back and forth.
I've heard it for years.
Yeah. I think eventually we'll probably get some version of it, but I think right now they're concentrating on the Star Wars and the Toy Story
experience. Yeah, awesome. Well, guys, we are talking with Mr. Matt Roseboom here, and if you guys don't know anything about him, he's one of the great journalists here in the Orlando area, and he covers a wide range of attractions in the Orlando area. And Matt, what kind of got you into journalism? What was kind of that push towards, It
was really by accident. I used to live in Southwest Florida, and I just was looking for a job, and got a job as a salesperson in a local newspaper. And I quickly found out I'm not a good salesperson. So I not that I was bad at it, but I just didn't enjoy it. And it was about the same time that newspapers were moving from, printed up, pasting things down with glue to going all digital. And so I was, tech savvy at the time. So I kind of started helping out the newsroom with, here's how you should do this. And they kind of taught me the journalistic side of it. Well, here's how a headline should work. So and so. And then the newspaper I worked for was owned by the New York Times company. So I got to fly to New York a few times and do some training up at the New York Times, which was cool. So started that, worked at that newspaper. They got bought out, and ended up leaving with a couple other coworkers and started my own newspaper, and ran that a few years. And all this time, I've loved theme parks and drove up to Orlando all the time to the theme parks a few times a year when I could. So once I got an offer to buy my newspaper, so I sold it and said, let's move to Orlando and I'll start some kind of publication up there. And that's how Attractions Magazine got started.
Now, that's my next question. So that's how you basically got the idea for starting Attractions Magazines when you moved from Southwest Florida. Yeah,
I mean, they always say, do what you love. And I loved the theme parks, and I loved publishing and business too. So it's like, what do I want to do? Do I want to start I had ideas for a newspaper that's attractions based that gets put out at all the hotels, or do I want to do like a slick magazine that, and around the same time, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a magazine called Disney Magazine, and people loved the Disney Magazine because they brought them a piece of the theme parks home, and it went out of business. Disney shut it down. So that was a perfect time for us to go, hey, let's give people back a little bit of what they are missing. Yeah. And so that's how it got started.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, we're going to pause for a minute. We're going to have a cantina moment. Is that all right? Oh. Yes. Anyway, now I had to get that out of my system. I'm sorry, Matt. Every once in a while, we'll just go on a random cantina fit.
I didn't know when you were going to play it. I was actually getting the shakes. I was getting the shakes.
I got your back. I got your back, brother. I got your back.
Thank you.
So, what is it about the Orlando theme parks that keeps you excited? Because I know you're in the parks almost on a daily basis. And what is it that keeps you going back and keeps you wanting more?
Well, things are always changing. So, it's fun to go into parks and say, oh, look, they changed this over here. Oh, that's, their walls are up around this store. I wonder what that could be changing into. Just this week, a Hello Kitty store opened. And I'm not a huge Hello Kitty fan, but they did an awesome job. It looks really cool inside, and the bright colors and big, Do
you think that's because of the Deadpool movie?
I was going to say, was Wade Wilson in there?
I haven't seen it yet, so I didn't know there's a connection.
I'm just curious. I'm just thinking.
It's like it's weird that happened,
But and then it's fun reporting on it. It's fun getting on Twitter and telling everybody, hey, there's something, this just happened, and to read everybody's reaction. Oh, that's awesome, or oh, I hate that. Why'd they get rid of this? It's fun.
That is cool. And so, how do you see the theme park industry evolving over the next 10 years? Like, where do you see it going? What's the future of Universal? What's the future of Walt Disney World?
I think all of them are looking to expand. Especially Universal. And then when Harry Potter area opened at Universal Orlando, that just set the bar for how all new attractions are going to be built. The amount of detail they put in it, with everything, to the doors down to the signs to the pebbles on the ground, everything is so authentic that I think that's why I'm kind of glad Star Wars came after Harry Potter, because I know some of the people who actually even worked on Harry Potter are now working at Disney, and I know they're going to bring that same authenticity to the Star Wars land. So
awesome!
Yeah, that is going to be great.
So as the technology progresses, so will the attractions, the theme parks. We've already kind of seen that already in the past couple of years with Disney evolving their ticket ticket pass from an actual paper to the Magic Band.
Right.
And so it's very high tech, and it's got an RFID chip in it, so you can scan your pass at the entrance of each attraction, or you can scan your band and get a fast pass. You get like 3 fast passes there for the day, and you can actually even plan them ahead of time too, right?
Yeah, you're going to pull up your phone.
Yeah.
60 days ahead if you're booked to stay at a Disney World Resort, 30 if you're not. But me as an annual pass holder, I can go on, oh, hey, we're going to go in a couple hours to Magic Kingdom. Let me see what's available. Or we're going tomorrow. Let me book something ahead.
That is so cool.
It's really nice. Whereas before you had to get to the park and run out to the attraction and see what time you had to come back, and a lot of running around. But the one part of the Magic Band that they haven't activated yet fully is it actually, there's a short range tracker in the band, so they know where you're walking around the park at. And with that, they have some things that they're going to add that haven't been added yet, such as, when you go meet Cinderella, she knows your name when you walk up to her.
Wow.
Because she's been, somehow the band has told her what your name is. Or one example they gave years ago, they never implemented, is like on It's a Small World, kids ahead of time can draw their own doll online. And then when they get to the park and the end of the ride, one of the screens is going to show them their doll that they created as they go by.
That is so cool.
So hopefully they haven't implemented a lot of that, any of that yet, but hopefully by the time Star Wars Land comes around, they'll have some of that implemented, and that'll even more personalize your experiences. Now,
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but between all the Orlando attractions, what is the one that you find that you just frequent the most? It's your go-to, your money shot. It's your guilty pleasure. What is that one attraction for you?
Well, one of them is shut down right now, and that's the Soarin' ride at Epcot. I just love the feeling of that it gives you, and the wind and the smells, and
I love Soarin'.
It's awesome. And then it's shut down because they're enhancing it. It's not going to be. Used to be you just flew over California. Now you're going to fly over the whole world. Yeah, so you'll fly over the Great Wall and who knows where else. So I'm anxious to have that reopen and see if it's just as good or hopefully better.
Are they updating the screens on those as well?
Yeah, they already had updated the one in California, and then here that's going to be all digital when it reopens. And they're adding another theater because, of course, it's always the longest line now. So when they update it, it's going to be even longer. So they've added another theater so they can handle some bigger crowds.
Dual theaters. Wow.
Yeah. Awesome. I think it was 2 already, so now there's a third coming. But the other ride my favorite ride is a Spider-Man ride.
Spider-Man.
Islands of Adventure. That ride is just awesome.
I love Spider-Man. And it's the old school Spider-Man. It's the Spider-Man. How many Stan Lees have you counted cameos?
I know there's he's driving the garbage truck. He's on the street towards the end. I counted
7.
Really? I was going to say 3 or 4, but
no. But there's actually in the line queue, and if you go through Quick Queue,
okay,
there is a comic strip of him.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's there with J. Jonah Jameson.
Yep.
J. Jonah Jameson. So, but
they've been adding him because when they redid the ride a few years ago, and that's when Stan started showing up. And at first, he was only a couple places in the ride, and then they
kind of made a gimmick out of it. Then
they added him again. And one day, at the end of the ride, you hear this voice saying, "We got to get Jonah down." But now they've added Stan Lee's voice at the end of it, so it's awesome. Pretty cool.
So I got to ask you too about we're shifting from Disney over to Universal side, and so we got some things in the pipeline now. Of course, PopX, we talk about comics and pop culture and that kind of stuff. So I understand that the Incredible Hulk ride has been like torn apart.
Yeah, it's kind of unprecedented, right? It's a roller coaster for those you don't know. And it's an awesome roller coaster, and there really wasn't too much wrong with it. I guess people could say it's getting old and a little bit rattly, but it wasn't really a lot of people complaining about it. And all out of the blue, Universal says we're redoing the ride, and you think, okay, they're going to paint it, whatever. No, they tore the track completely down. It's like the track was gone, and now they're building it back up with brand new track. And from what we can see so far, it's going to be the same layout. They're also redoing the queue, and there's been rumors on. First, the rumors were the queue would feature the movie version of the Hulk from Avengers, but I don't think that's happening. All the artwork on the outside construction walls is the comic version, the old school version. Hulk. Yeah, I think that's what they're have to keep. But they're redoing the queue area. I think it was kind of open air, and they're going to enclose it. And I'm sure it'll have better screens for the pre-show movies, and hope maybe a different storyline. The line queue was a little dated last time that Alex and I were there, but it's so nostalgic, walking around the gamma ray charger and all that stuff. So it was interesting because that's one of my favorite. That one and I would have to say Spider-Man. It's definitely I could just literally spend all day at Marvel Island. At Islands of Adventure, and just drop me off. I'm good to go for about 8 hours. Just go do whatever you want to do. Have you been at Daniel?
See, no, I'm gonna be though. I'm definitely gonna be, because Joe's got a spare room for me that has all kinds of cool nerd stuff in it.
Who said you were staying in my man cave, Mister?
I just thought it was implied.
Okay. Yeah, you need a fast pass for that. So,
I'm your co-host. I thought I just already had that out.
Right. But we'll work something out.
But anyway, when I do come down, what rides am I going to be missing out on? What rides are going to be axed out because of all of these new additives being?
There's always going to be something that's either not open yet or shut down, but depends on when you come. Hulk is supposed to open this summer, so we don't know exactly when that means. And they usually, at some point, they'll give an exact date on things, but it's usually, up until a couple months beforehand, it's always summer or spring, and sometimes there's a Frozen ride they're building at Epcot, and it was supposed to be spring. Now they're saying summer for it, so. You never know what's going to happen. So depends on when you come, but all the new Star Wars things we talked about earlier with the enhanced fireworks, and that's all starting in April, and then Hulk's this summer. So there's always going to be something awesome to see, especially if you haven't been there.
We're talking about the Incredible Hulk, and right around the corner from Marvel Island, right after Toonland, is the new Kong attraction. Now, what can you tell us about that in tie-in with, is there going to be a tie-in to the old Kongification, or is it all
there may
new?
Be some kind of nod in there to the old one, but it's really a brand new ride. There's a Kong. Kong is on part of the tram ride in California at Universal Hollywood.
Okay.
And the way that works is you're on the tram, you pull in, and there's screens surrounding you.
Okay.
And you put on 3D safety goggles, and so Kong comes out on one side. I think it's actually some dinosaurs come out and start attacking you, and Kong comes out and saves you from the dinosaurs. So it's his battle on the left side, and then over to the right side, and your tram's shaking all around, and Kong's tearing these dinosaurs apart. And that's it in California. So you go through there, you see that, and then you pull out, and then you go on to the tram tour. So we think that this Kong, what's it, Reign of Kong here in Skull Island. Yeah, Skull Island, Reign of Kong. It's going to be similar to that, where we'll pull in somewhere and see this screen battle happen. But then there's some more to the ride, and none of this has been said, but this is what we're hearing, is there'll be some animatronic, huge animatronic Kongs, life size, one or more that you'll encounter after you go through that part of the ride. So
that'd be crazy.
And they've got a whole story around it. We're hearing that maybe they're hiring actors to portray different parts in the ride. So it's gonna, and then there's gonna be other creatures on this Skull Island, huge spiders and different things. So
that's awesome.
And just going by and looking at the huge structure they have up with the doors, and just the other night we saw it the first time lit from the inside, and it just looks awesome.
I can't wait. And that launches Kong Skull Island. That launches when?
They just still saying this summer.
This summer, okay.
From what I'm hearing, it could soft open in April or May,
Okay.
and then maybe a May or June official opening.
Wow. So also in Universal too, they've torn down Twister, which is kind of an old school ride. Now, what's going in there?
Twister's going to become a Jimmy Fallon ride. You're going to ride through New York with Jimmy Fallon. Yeah.
What?
Believe it or not.
What?
So it's a Tonight Show ride. I bet you didn't see that coming.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
He's going to be told jokes the whole time.
I'm sure it'll be very funny. And we haven't heard a lot about it. We've heard what I've heard as rumors is it'll be similar to Soarin', where some kind of screen and you're on, being lifted up and it's feeling like you're flying through New York. I'm not sure what you're flying on. Cool. But this is going from up into the skies to the top of the skyscrapers down to the subway. So it sounds like it'll be fun. So
there's so many. There's Mr. Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, Race Through New York with
Race Through New York. That is going to be that's going to be different. That'd be kind of cool. I hope it sticks and lasts. Kind of a tear when Twister had to go away. It's such an old school attraction. And so, how many of the old school attractions are left now at Universal? Is it just E.T.?
Yeah, I think E.T.'s just about it. I think maybe a couple. One of the shows, the Monster Show or something.
Sorry.
And E.T., we keep hearing rumors it's going away. No, they're going to refurbish it. No, it's going away. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. They had it in Hollywood and they got rid of it years ago. So
yeah. I was kind of sorely disappointed when I first moved to Orlando. I literally missed Back to the Future, the attraction, by months. And I was just like, no.
Well, they still have it in Japan if you want to fly out to Japan.
You really see me flying to Japan. Come on, man. Oh, my gosh. That's funny.
And then one other ride coming to Universal Studios is the Fast and Furious ride.
Really?
And in California, it's similar to the Kong, and that's part of the tram tour. And you go in, and there's screens all around you, but it makes you feel as if you're racing with the Fast and Furious guys. But they're building a huge area for it, and it's where Disaster was. It closed down, which used to be Earthquake.
Yeah.
So that's been gutted, and they basically tore the whole building down and restarting for Fast and Furious. The Fast and Furious and Jimmy Fallon won't be this year; it'll be next year.
Okay.
All right.
And also, switching up theme parks, SeaWorld is getting a new roller coaster.
Yep, SeaWorld's getting one, and Busch Gardens getting one. SeaWorld's is going to be called Mako. It's a shark roller coaster. And that's opening this summer as well. Lots of things opening.
Isn't that patterned after Goliath? The Goliath ride?
I'm not sure.
It's a drop ride, isn't it? Not a drop ride, but it's a roller coaster with a high drop. And you just go down.
It starts off with a huge lift hill, and the purpose of the ride is to get you a lot of air time. So a lot of hills where you go flying up and then fly right back down, and you'll come up out of your seat, and it should be really fun.
Everything okay over there, Daniel? You
I just saw like a little bit of a flicker in my lights. I'm just worried that I'm
all right. Daniel's going through a massive thunderstorm right now up in Philly, so fingers crossed we don't lose Daniel during the rest of the podcast.
I don't want to blow away.
Don't blow away, Dorothy. You got to stay here. Oh, man. So I think there's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about, and that was the Great Movie Ride. What updates are they making or going to make? I know that they're bringing in what's the individual's name from the movie channel?
No, my name's
Robert?
His name's yeah. It's AMC.
AMC,
yeah. It's
have they begun that process?
Yeah,
yet?
No, that's done and it's open.
Oh, it's already done.
Yeah. So
I'm a day late and $1 short. Dang.
You still have the live guides on your tram as you go through different movie scenes, but he gives a overview spiel on the loudspeakers you're going through too.
Okay.
And they changed up a pre-show for him. It has him and some new movies to watch while you're in the queue.
That's awesome.
And a few other little enhancements, but nothing big.
That's awesome. You one more thing. You also have a show that you don't only have a magazine that you publish every month. You actually have a television show that you broadcast every. Now tell the people about that and how they can find it.
Yeah, we have a pretty big YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com/attractionsmagazine, we have a few different vlogger shows on there and other shows that we produce, but our main show is Orlando Attractions Magazine, the show. So basically, it's kind of like it's also on iTunes as a video podcast. And it's also broadcasted on YouTube, like I said, but it's also on Bright House Cable TV, which is big here in Central Florida. So you can watch it on there as well. But it's basically, we'll go over the news of the week, and then we go into a couple different segments where we'll go out into the theme parks and bring you reports, interview Imagineers or people who design the roller coasters, or we'll go check out a new restaurant or a new smaller attraction that just opened last week. We gave a construction tour for Mako, and they unveiled the roller coaster cars. And we went out to Busch Gardens, and they got a new coaster coming called Cobra's Curse, and we got a hard hat tour there. So we try to bring people out into the parks in that show.
That is like mind blowing, and I don't know if I should do this, but I'm going to anyway. I think that you actually at one point had a special co-host for when you did the Titanic experience. Am I?
What was that guy's name? There he is.
Mr. Joe Burke with the Titanic experience. Look at that. Oh my God.
Yes. We needed an expert on
ghost hunting. Yes.
Ghost hunting.
Yeah.
So we brought Joe in to.
I don't know if I'm an expert, but I know what's going on. But you knew a lot about it, and the Titanic. There, if you don't know, there's an exhibit in town called the Titanic exhibit, and they have some actual artifacts from the Titanic. So they were for a while. I'm not sure if they're still doing it. We're doing ghost tours, and we have a bevy of reporters that do reporting for us on the show, and then every once in a while we'll like to bring in some extra hosts that have some expertise. And I'm so sorry that your ratings plummeted that episode. I do apologize for that one right there.
Joe looks a little confused in that picture.
I'm actually in like mid-sentence, but if you notice, it's like a pre-goatee. I got the frohawk going on. It's just like, oh my gosh.
It looks as though even though you were in mid-sentence, you still look a tad confused on maybe what you're talking about.
Daniel, I'm always confused.
You were just worried about the ghosts inside.
That's it. That's what it was. I'm seeing it now.
So is there anything that we've not talked about, Matt, that you can elaborate on or you want to elaborate on that people might be hearing this for the first time and don't necessarily know about Attractions or Attractions Magazine, the show, or any of the new stuff coming to Orlando? Is there something that you would want to personally
anything in the
let
pipeline?
Us know about? Anything in the pipeline?
As far as for us or for the attractions or
anything. The show,
any secrets?
Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens.
No, I mean I think we've talked about everything that's coming. Besides, I mentioned the Frozen rides coming to Epcot, and I think that's it. I mean, you can follow us. We've always got new things coming. Like I say, we got a few new shows. We're doing some vloggers that'll take you out in a more informal way into the parks on our YouTube channel.
I think Banksley is doing an amazing job. He is so cut out for that job.
He's my main guy. He's editor and host and everything. So it's a small company, so we're all pitching in to do a little everything.
Here's something. Do you have any recommendations for anybody that's going to visit? Hotel recommendations?
That's a good one.
Anything that might make their experience a little easier when they go down there? Something, a good way to start off. Maybe have a list of. Just a survival kit, if you will, for Orlando and Disney.
Well, we have a few tips and things on our website, and on our show each week we give a travel tip. with different things. But just basically, and we're always available for questions if somebody wants to email us or contact us through Snapchat or Instagram or whatever.
Wait, attractions are on Snapchat?
Yeah.
I already knew that.
If you'd like to, please lay it all out for us. What if anybody wants to contact you? The Gmails and Twitters and Facebooks and all that good stuff. Lay it out on us.
You can find our contact info on our website, attractionsmagazine.com.
Okay.
Instagram is Attractions Magazine. YouTube's Attractions Magazine. On Twitter, we're just at Attractions.
Mm-hmm.
And then Snapchat's Attractions Mag, if you want to follow us there.
Awesome.
But yeah, we're always available. But one thing I was going to point out, when somebody asked me about hotels, there's an area called Palm Parkway, and it's close to Disney Springs, which used to be downtown Disney. And that, if you're going to Disney and Universal, maybe even SeaWorld, that's a central location that I would suggest to look at some of the hotels on Palm Parkway.
So not necessarily an international drive, but
right. International is more good if maybe you're going to do some of the smaller attractions on International and Universal. Right. It's a little bit further to get to Disney. I think Palm Parkway, you're close to everything right in the middle there. So
okay. We have one question, and this just comes from Lindsay Badger over in the chat room. What attractions are they taking away to make room for the new Star Wars land?
We briefly mentioned earlier that Lights, Motors, Action show is going away. Yeah, the whole Streets of America area where they used to have the Osborne Lights, that's going away. There's some other little things, like there's a Monsters, Inc. meet and greet that's going away. There's a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground that's going away. I think that's it. They closed earlier the backlot tour with Catastrophe Canyon. That's all been closed for a while. So all that is
the Ears Water Tower is going away as well.
Yeah,
right?
that's that you can see throughout the park, but that was you drove past it in that backlot tour, and they're taking that down as well. So awesome. That's for Star Wars Land and for Toy Story Land.
Awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Dude, I didn't really expect you to hang with us 45 minutes. Thank you so much, man.
No problem.
I know how precious your time is as an editor and a writer and all that stuff. So 45 minutes, I'm like, yes, I got you.
Yeah. But, you did you answered so many questions of what I'm going to experience when I get to experience the Star Wars.
Yeah, you got to get down, man. You get out of Philly and come to Orlando, and maybe, just maybe, you might see Mr. Matt Roseboom in the parks.
It might just happen. It's going to happen. I'm coming down. It's all going down.
Awesome.
Trust me.
Well, listen, Matt, thank you so much for checking us out. You'll be episode 4. You'll be up on iTunes and on YouTube later tonight. Awesome. You're awesome, dude. Thank you so much. And, spread the good word about us. Tell us that, we're just nerds making a nerdy podcast talking about nerdy things.
No, so. I love it. I've listened to all your shows, except the Deadpool one. I haven't listened to that yet because I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, don't do that one. Don't do that one.
Good job.
I'm waiting to play that one. So,
but can you believe we actually talked about Deadpool and kept it clean?
Wow.
Yeah.
It was tough for me.
It was tough for Daniel. Daniel's a loose target. He doesn't want to stay on target with his mouth.
That's why the name is that's why I had to have that name to try. There is no try there.
All right, Matt. All right. Well, you have a wonderful night, and
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man. We'll see you around at the parks. Okay.
All right.
Have a great night, man.
Awesome sauce. So, Matt is officially episode 4 here, and it is so cool to have had him on board. It's so much going on, and I really can't wait. I want to be here, Daniel, when you come to Orlando for the first time.
You're going to be there.
Well, duh, I live here. And you walk in to like Star Wars Land for the first time, and you see it and you experience it. You're just going to be petrified. You'll be like, and I know you will.
That is definitely the right word.
I mean, when Disney creates something, they just don't have to do it. They do it to perfection. And everybody around says, "Oh, Disney takes so long for attractions to load." I mean, Disney does it and does it right the first time.
I want to get mugged and saved by like a Jedi or something, man. That'd be so cool.
You don't want to get mugged by a Jedi. That'd be kind of like
Well, no, I mean, I want to get mugged and then saved by a Jedi.
Okay, well, I can mug you. I can do that part.
Well, that would...
We got to discuss this thing about you.
The thing is, Joe, I would just feel uncomfortable coming back and then sleeping in your home. Like, you just mugged me. What's going on here?
But that's how we roll. That's how we roll, man. We mug.
All right.
Wait a minute. Let's just smooth this over
you're
right
just saying
now.
we're just walking in mean mugging.
Let's just smooth this over right now. Oh my God! Stop it! Talk amongst yourselves. Does anybody want to call in?
Yeah,
we got about probably 5-6 minutes here before we have to wrap things up. But you're more than welcome to call in right now if you just want to call in for a second. We got Mr. Cliff Bodenweiser calling in on the show here. One of our faithful supporters and the Dragon Slayer
of Blab. He just came up with this about 18 hours ago. Anyway, having some fun there. We got the dragon.
So what are you? I can't even see you. What are you doing?
Satan,
I'm working.
Are you there?
I'm working.
Dad,
can you hear me?
Dad,
can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, but I can't.
I'm working on. I was on a face rig. I had my Dragon Slayer outfit on.
You're on a face rig?
Just changing clothes right now. I'll be right. I don't even have to refresh. I think I can just add myself right in here, just wonderfully. So anyway,
I was forms of awkward.
Awkward.
We are on the second tier of awkwardness right now. Cliff,
if you
reach one,
there he is.
Now we've reached.
There's Mr. Bodenweiser. Look at him in his little,
in all my green glory,
in all of his glory and his chroma key.
I was, I don't have any chroma key. It's my natural background. I always carry this around with me. So how did everything? Matt Roseboom was good. Everything good.
You sound like a demon right now. You know that, right?
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
You do have demon speak. You're gonna freak our podcast listeners out.
Oh my God, they're like,
why is Satan in here?
Last Blab.
No, do not do that.
I apologize.
Stop it. Stop it right now. So
that was awkward, and then we got a little more awkward when I wasn't showing up here, and then I sounded like a freak. So it's me, the non-mayor of Blab. I've been ousted by a dragon because I couldn't slay the little bugger. I think he tastes like chicken, and I didn't feel like any more chicken today. So.
Well, that's perfect for this podcast.
That is great. You fit right up the alley right here.
I'm loving the LARP.
Yeah, while we're at it. Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you for that. Need to move around a little bit at my stand-up desk. I love this thing. I can move, say, 18 hours on my feet straight. The worst thing I've ever done for myself. Get a stand-up.
Why?
I just want to give props. When I was first thinking about doing PopX and actually conceptualizing the idea of this show and thinking about co-hosts and that stuff, Cliff was one of those individuals that I really did confide in quite a bit. And he listened to me and he gave me some very valuable input that even today is just, it's literally structured the whole basis of how I do this podcast. And Cliff, I just want to thank you for that, man. You rock. You don't know that, but you are a backbone to this. And Mike is showing Mike's off the handle. He's one to ride on a coaster, I think. Mike Ippolito is.
Yeah.
But guys, what you're what's that? I'm sorry.
I'm over here talking amongst yourselves, please.
You go have a moment. You go have a moment. We'll talk in a minute, okay? We'll talk in a minute. All right.
Oh yeah.
Say goodbye, Cliff. All right.
Goodbye, Cliff.
Goodbye, Cliff. But we got a couple more minutes. Anybody else wants to call in, you're more than welcome to. Hey, Daniel, do you want to give out some of that stuff?
What are you doing? Some Professor Xing over there? Are you
you're
Professor
in my head. You need to stop it.
So yeah, let's if you guys would love let's let Red 5 Mom in here.
Yep.
But anyway, if you would like to contact me on any of my social, that is just great. That is great.
Oh my gosh, man!
I'm loving it.
People that are listening to this on iTunes, you have no idea what.
I don't even care if people don't follow me.
Crazy. Strong you are today. Much fear you have.
Stronger than the force you are.
Wait, I have one more thing. Hold on.
What's that? What have we got? Oh,
damn, Daniel! I hate my name.
Look at that jelly hair.
I hate my name.
You're so suave.
Poor thing.
So, if you want to get a hold of Damn Daniel, my Twitter, Gmail, Instagram, all of that good stuff is Stay on Target 42. I am currently working on my webpage, which is nothing more than a skeleton right now, but that is stayontarget42.com.
It's literally a skeleton?
Yes, it is a skeleton that dances.
Wow. I need to call like CSI in on that.
You might. Might be someone you know. That went dark. I'm sorry.
That was bad.
Anyway, we were about to run out of time, though.
Oh, it's backwards too.
No, Joe, give out your information.
No, it's not
backwards.
It's not backwards. It's fine on this end.
Perfect.
Oh,
up there.
All right. So my information is, if you guys ever want to contact me and reach out to me, my Twitter is @IStriveToThrive, and you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and here on Blab, of course, @IStriveToThrive. I'm also on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel aside from this one, but we're here to promote PopX tonight. But if you need me or want to DM me, find me over on Twitter, and I'll add you back, and we can type it up. And my email address is istrivetothrive@gmail.com. Also, give you some PopX information. If you ever want to send us an email, it's popxcast@gmail.com. Yes, do the X. We are. Are we X-Men? Does that officially make us X-Men?
You know what? We could be.
I don't know. We got Red 5 Mom in here. She could be like Mystique.
Yep. She's already got the. Yep.
Look at you.
Boom.
Let her powers bang. All right.
I think we all should have just. For some reason, I feel like I should have just transformed. I don't know why I didn't transform.
Autobots roll out.
Can we do that again? Let me just.
What?
All right. I thought something was going to happen. I thought when I went like this and all of us did it at the same time, I thought I was going to transform.
Yeah.
It's okay. No.
All right, Red 5 Mom. We'll catch you in the post show, okay?
Yeah. Gotcha. Bye.
All right. Bye, sweetheart. All right, guys. If you want to follow us over on our webpage, it's popxcast.com. Be sure to check us out. We really thank you guys so much for your support. We thank you for everything that you do.
Everything.
Here's the thing, though. Next week, I want to hold a contest, Daniel, where we get some people motivated to leave us some feedback on iTunes. And so you be thinking of some stuff. I already have an idea, and I'm going to try to implement that, and I want to bring that in, and I want to just lay that on the table for the people next week.
Just set the line.
Just set it on there. If you here's what I'm thinking. All those that leave a 5-star rating and a nice little blurb, I will put their name in a hat, and I will randomly draw, and the winner will get a free artwork.
Also,
but we're not going to push that until next week for episode 5.
They will get a free code to a Steam game online.
I like it. All right. So popxcast.com. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. PopXcast. It's easy peasy. Even a 4th grader could do it. And speaking of 4th graders, even a 4th grader could listen to this. So, but from all of us here at PopX, Dan, you got anything else?
No. Thank you, everyone. You guys are the best.
You guys are rock stars. We will see you next week on episode 5. Get your geek on and stay nerdy. Bye.
See ya.
From everyone at PopX Cast, thanks for listening. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating over on iTunes and subscribe for more great content. Drop us an email, popxcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Blab, and YouTube at PopXcast. Get your geek on.